Okay, let's unpack this. I mean, think about it. The sheer amount of information a doctor has to juggle every single day. You've got years of patient histories, right? Then there's this constant flood of new lab results plus all the latest medical research coming out.
Yeah.
It's a massive challenge just keeping up. So imagine having some kind of intelligent assistant, something to help make sense of it all. That's pretty much what AI clinical decision support systems, CDSS, are aiming for, a smarter way for doctors to stay informed right when it counts for their patients.
That's a great way to put it. And yeah, this deep dive is all about how these AI-powered CDSS are actually helping doctors make, well, better decisions. Right now.
Right. We've sort of touched on this before, haven't we? This idea of AI being a tool to boost what healthcare professionals can do. CDSS feels like a really solid example of that actually happening, like moving from just ideas to something practical.
Exactly. And what's really interesting is that this isn't science fiction. It's not some far-off future tech. These systems are actually being used now. They're providing real support. So our goal here, for you listening, is to show how they work, what the real benefits are, and why it's such a big deal in healthcare today. Basically, getting you quickly up to speed on this key AI application.
Okay, let's dive in then. What is it that a CDSS actually does? How does it help doctors handle all that complexity?
Fundamentally, it's about managing that information overload. The sources we looked at mention them learning from vast amounts of data, identifying patterns, and making predictions. Think of it like a superpowered medical detective. It sifts through just tons and tons of data, research papers, patient cases, clinical trials, looking for connections for those subtle patterns.
Okay, so rather than the doctor having to manually connect, say, this patient's specific symptoms with some finding in a brand new study, the CDSS can do that heavy lifting.
Precisely. Let's picture it. A patient comes in, right? They've got certain symptoms, a whole medical history. Instead of the doctor just relying on what they remember offhand or doing manual searches, the CDSS can analyze that patient's unique data, past issues, meds, allergies, recent tests, everything, and instantly compare it against this huge library of medical knowledge. Then it might flag things, hey, look at this, or suggest possible diagnoses, maybe even point to treatments that could be a really good fit for this specific person.
Wow, okay. That sounds like it could really push things towards more tailored healthcare, personalized treatment.
Absolutely. And that links directly to the whole personalized medicine movement. CDSS has huge potential there. By comparing a patient's data, not just to general knowledge, but to patterns from maybe thousands of similar cases. And like the source material mentions, potentially even considering things like their genetic profiles for screening for potential diseases, well, the system can help make much more precise decisions. What works best for one person with a condition might not be the top choice for another, maybe because of tiny differences in their genes or how the illness presents. And it's not just about treating current problems better. It could even help spot risks, way earlier than we usually can, based on patterns AI picks up.
That's a really powerful concept, using AI proactively, not just reactively.
And, the help extends beyond just that core diagnostic support. Think about AI tools that help doctors with their clinical notes. Some AI can summarize patient visits, transcribe what the doctor says, even suggest possible diagnoses or treatments right there in the notes. That also acts as decision support, right? It helps the doctor process information, structure their thinking, and maybe frees up time they could be spending talking to the patient instead of typing.
Okay. So it's not only about cracking the tough diagnostic cases, but also making the everyday workflow smoother.
Exactly right. And this is really crucial. It's so important to stress that AI here is absolutely not a replacement for human medical judgment. The sources are crystal clear about that. Think of CDSS more like a vigilant guardian, maybe, always watching, flagging things, or like a personalized mentor offering insights. These systems augment human capabilities. They give the doctor more information, more analytical power. But that final call, the critical decision, that always stays with the human expert, the doctor.
That feels like a really vital point to make. It's empowerment, not replacement. So looking at the big picture then, what are the main upsides here? Why is CDSS seen as such a big step forward?
Well, the advantages are pretty significant. I mean, first off, it helps healthcare professionals give care that's more efficient, more effective, and definitely more personalized by making complex information easier to handle, maybe improving diagnostic accuracy, suggesting tailored treatments that directly helps patients, better outcomes. Plus, it can help streamline how things work in hospitals and clinics, and it tackles that huge issue we started with, information overload for doctors. The end game, like our sources put it, is really to improve patient outcomes and system efficiency.
Okay, so boiling it down, the core idea is CDSS are AI tools. They look at a specific patient's data, compare it against vast medical knowledge, and then offer useful insights, maybe recommendations, basically helping doctors cut through the noise and make the best call for that individual patient. Is that about right?
That's it exactly. It's using AI's power to enhance the doctor's own thinking and decision-making.
Got it. Yeah, this really clarifies things. It makes CDSS feel less like just buzzwords and more like a real practical way AI is already helping out in healthcare, that powerful assistant we talked about.
Indeed, it really is. And, as these systems get even smarter, it does raise an important question, something for you, the listener, to think about. Given how capable AI is becoming in helping doctors, what are the most critical things we need to consider, maybe ethically or practically, to make sure we're using these powerful tools responsibly and fairly as they become even more integrated into medicine?